All right, here's some help with 4.04. 4.04 is asking you mainly for measures of angles. So for measures of angles, we're going to actually use the inverse function for sine, cosine, and tangent to find the measure of the angle. So I'm going to show you on the calculator how to use that inverse function. So this is similar to the quiz question, what is the measure of angle C, except the quiz asks you for angle A. So for measure of angle C, we need to decide which ratio we're going to use. Now, since they give us all three sides of the triangle, we can really use either of these and get the same answer, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's just take the tangent of C. Remember, our tangent is opposite over adjacent. So our opposite side here is 3. Our adjacent side is 4. So 3 over 4. Now, if we just divide 3 over 4, that doesn't give us the measure of the angle. That just gives us the tangent ratio. But we want to find the measure of the angle, so that's going to use our inverse tangent function of 3 over 4. So let me share the calculator and show you how you have to use your calculator for this. You do need a scientific calculator. Let me clear it so you can kind of see. See how this works. All right, so let's see, there we go. I wanted to clear all the history. All right, so on your calculator, you should have, if it's a scientific, a sine, cosine, and tangent button. So like I said, you can really use any of these to find the measure of the angle. Notice above it, it says tangent -1, cosine -1, sine -1. That's our inverse function. So you may have an INV button on your calculator. If you're not sure, YouTube can be a good source to find how to use the inverse function. So on this calculator, you're going to hit the second button and hit tangent. And then if we hit 3 divided by 4, and then enter, you can see it now gives us the measure of the angle, which is 36.87. All right, so now we can also use any of the other functions. So I'm going to show you that. If we want to use the cosine, we can do the second cosine. And then the cosine, if you look at the cosine, it's actually 4 divided by 5. So you have a different ratio, but you see you get the same number, this 36.869. We can use the sine function, second sine, and then make sure you use the right ratio. That's 3 divided by 5, and that's going to give you 36.869. So hope that helps using the inverse function on your calculator. Remember, you'll use it if they ask for the measure of an angle. All right, so I'm going to go back to my screen here. So 36.87, and then I just have these on the board as well so that you can see that you can really choose any of those three functions up here to find the measure of angle C, since we have all three sides. All right, they do have one on the quiz where they want the measure of angle B. I think the quiz asked for D, but I'm going to show you so you know how to do it. So the measure of angle B, look at what I've been given. Okay, I've been given two sides. Now I could use the Pythagorean theorem and find this third side, but you can decide which ratio to use if you only have two and you don't have to find the third side. So if I'm looking at angle B, I have the opposite side and I have the adjacent side. So look at which function uses the opposite and the adjacent. That's going to be your tangent. So the tangent of B is 45 over 25, opposite over adjacent. And now, just like I showed you, I can use my inverse tangent. So hit that second tangent button, and then 45 divided by 25, and B is 60.95. They've asked for hundredths, so make sure that you're rounding to the right 2 decimals. The last one is a little word problem where they give you a guy wire supports a cell phone tower. The guy wire makes a 47-degree angle with the ground and touches the ground 25 feet from the base of the tower. So here's my tower, here's my guy wire, here's my 47-degree angle, and this is 25. So I'm looking for x. X, remember, is the hypotenuse because it's opposite the right angle. So this is my hypotenuse. If I look at decide which function, which ratio to use, I've been given this 47. I've got the adjacent and I want the hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse is going to be my cosine. So I can say the cosine of 47 degrees is equal to 25 over x, and then swap these sides because I'm looking for x. So x divided by the 25 divided by cosine of 47. Now on this one, we don't need to use the inverse function, right? We're not looking for the measure of the angle. We know the measure of the angle is 47. We're looking for part of the ratio. So this time, 25, hit divide by, hit your cosine button, hit 47, hit equals. And you should get, it says round to the nearest foot this time. So our nearest foot is 37. Hope this helps.